I also felt a little uneasy because it was such a short course. One of the things which became a problem is how to conduct classes, how to set up a proper class structure. People start to ask about a full license. When can I start critical alignment teaching? I still develop in my teaching. My teachers, I'm a creative teacher. There's something with the Russian people. We seem to like each other very much. How to conduct a teacher's training. So Jacqueline and me are doing it, and further, I didn't authorize anyone.
Hi. So, interest for critical alignment in Russia is really growing, and I noticed that the teacher's training program was widened. Can you tell more about it?
Yes. I'm glad to have this opportunity to explain about the structure of our teacher's training because, like you said, it's changing rapidly. And I'm very happy with that because it comes closer and closer to my original teacher's training, which was in Amsterdam. I conducted a training which lasted 3 years and with students who were my regular students, so it was already very deep training. And when I came to Russia for the first time, I mean, people didn't know me. And I started in 2012 with the first teacher's training after the yoga conference. And that was an introduction. So it was based on yoga exercises or therapy. I can't remember clearly. But it was 8 days of practice. And compared to my traditional teaching, of course, I knew I had to make a new start in a foreign country. But I also felt a little uneasy because it was such a short course. And like you said, the interest is growing. It's amazingly growing. And it improves the quality of the teacher's training a lot. Because we developed a large group of teachers who pay interest to develop deeper. They want to move and they're asking for more deeper information. And I'm happy to say that after the 8 days module, we were able to add more depth to the teacher's training by giving it a larger structure. And the structure starts with therapy. So there will be a therapy training, which is 8 days. And it used to be 8 days, but now, just recently, I suggested to add a module on assessments, which is a very important and essential part in therapy, to learn how to assess people, of 3 days in that module. So I just finished it actually, and the people were so happy because after all the theory coming from the first module, the practice came in, the understanding came in, all the loose ends came together. So it is an 8-day plus 3-day training now, and it works according to the references of the students very, very well. So I'm very happy that it happened. And actually, the same thing happened also in the yoga training. The yoga module was also built in order to teach teachers, most of my students are already teachers, critical alignment, how they can add it to their traditional practice, or maybe they want to make a shift and teach only critical alignment. But it's so much information. I'm teaching for 40 years now, so I'm a walking library, and it's almost impossible for people to grasp so much knowledge in such a short period of time. And one of the things which became a problem is how to conduct classes, how to set up a proper class structure. And to be honest, I didn't have the time to talk about that in depth. So I invited one of my senior students who is participating in my teacher's training in Amsterdam, Jacqueline Noorde. She's with me for more than 20 years now, and she is so experienced that she participated in the program, and everybody likes her. So she is giving a 4-day module based on teaching and conducting classes. So then people start to ask about a full license. When can I start critical alignment teaching, or maybe even open my own school? Because we have a number of students who already opened a school in St. Petersburg and other places in the country, which is such a thrill for me that it happens in such a short time. And of course, we wanted to give them support. And next to these 2 modules, after the therapy, which also concerns the building blocks of bricks of critical alignment, and the 4 modules I mentioned earlier, I also asked them to join retreats, which were more with me, which are based on daily practice. So they could listen to my teaching, experience the flow in which I teach, the diversity in giving direction and choosing topics concerning teaching. And we made an arrangement also with the students. It's not only that I decided that, but I try to follow the needs of the students who participate in the program, that they are willing to follow me for at least 5 years, because I still develop in my teaching. I'm a creative teacher. I'm the founder of Critical Alignment, and the founder never sits still, so he keeps continuing. And I'm so happy that they were willing to participate on a longer term, that by now, many years passed already, I found out that a lot of teachers became so mature that it became more or less equal to the level of the teachers I trained in Holland. So that is a full program, and Russia is running ahead to the rest of the world, because there's something with the Russian people. I teach in English. I have a translator who translates it in Russian. So through that, I also have more time to think. So I develop in Russia more rapidly than in other countries. But I also teach in Canada, Malaysia, and in other parts of the world. And I don't know, but Russians are so structurized that they seem to embrace me. I don't know why, but we seem to like each other very much. And because in Canada, I do a yearly critical alignment yoga training of 8 days, and the year after a therapy training. And the same I'm doing in Malaysia, which is a little more condensed, and I hope they will follow the initiative we take you have taken in Moscow, because it's very fulfilling for me. I'm very happy to share the depth of my teaching to serious people. And they are serious. They need to learn to be a little more playful, but they're very, very serious.
I see. Yeah, so to summarize it, we have separate license for yoga and separate license for therapy now, right? And then therapy course consists of 3 parts. It's 8 days course by you, then 4 days by Yakulin, and then 3 days assessment part also by you.
That's the brochure.
Yeah, and then yoga is 8 days by you and 4 days by
Yakulin. Yeah.
Okay, that's clear.
Yeah.
And then I also know there is this deep teachers training, which is called Teachers Training 2.0 in the institute in Moscow, which was opened earlier this year in February, right?
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of people who are not in this program yet are willing to join this in future. So what is required from a person to be part of such program in future?
Well, that's a very interesting program, because it started to train teachers in my school here in Moscow more deeply, so they could rapidly understand the depth of the teaching and apply it here in the classes they teach. But there was a second purpose by creating that 2.0 teachers training, because I'm doing a lot of research through the years. I tried to bring the psychological and the medical field together in my work, and I seem to succeed in that. So, but I'm so busy that I also need support from other teachers who want to contribute to that research we are doing. So we go deeper into the psychological levels, and we go deeper into the anatomy levels, and I encourage the students to become active, actively involved, not only in teaching, but also choosing topics which may be interesting for other parts in our society or in your society, like sports or psychology or physiotherapy. So we hope to contribute something to the regular systems because they also have limitations. And I'm looking at the psychological and physical development from another perspective. So a lot of people seem to be interested in that, and we have a beautiful group of people with a lot of expertise from different directions, a psychiatrist, a doctor, but also people who know about statistics and how to set up a proper research. And after students are fully licensed, we ask them, and they show interest, we ask them to have an interview with us, and they write a motivation letter. And when we read it and we read the enthusiasm of the student, we ask them to have a conversation, and then they can participate in that group. We just finished the first 4 modules of this year. Next year there will be another year, and then the first round is finished. But if the enthusiasm stays as big as it is now, we can start another year with the same program, and it will really give a lot of maturity to both teaching, but also the joy of being independent, creative, and add something beautiful to the world.
I see. Well, who is authorized to teach teachers' trainings?
Well, teachers' training, people can teach, but I developed 30 years to become a mature teacher to give a teacher's training. I know the depth of things, and I know, if I may say so about myself, but I know when to give the appropriate knowledge in order to build further in the development of the student. Unfortunately, that's too early in Russia. The maturity should be developed through teaching for many years before you can oversee the needs of a student and how to conduct a teacher's training. So Jacqueline and me are doing it, and further I didn't authorize anyone.
I see. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.